Hey guys, so that was such an awkward wave, but today I'm going to be doing my second fashion series video. If you guys haven't seen my first, I'll link it down below. And if you guys aren't really sure what the series is about, it's just kind of, if you haven't watched it before, it's just me kind of talking about like, it's like an educational fashion videos basically. So I'm just doing more of like the actual jobs in fashion and just everything like designers, jobs in fashion, all that kind of information, and just kind of giving like my opinions or like my information on it to you guys. So for today's videos, I wanted to talk about being a stylist. So basically like being a stylist as a job. So this is a job in the fashion industry, is being a stylist. There's many different kind of ways to be a stylist, which I will get into, but I thought I would do that today as my topic. So yeah. Also, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I'm super interested in this. This is also one of, if you guys saw my last video, I am currently studying purchasing, like fashion purchasing at my school, but I also, I also basically haven't decided if I want to be a purchaser or a stylist yet. A stylist really interests me, and that's really like something I would love to do, so I also wanted to kind of talk about it today because of that. So yeah, it's kind of like a job that, I mean, I think it's getting more and more, like it's getting better and better in the world, but it's kind of looked at as not really like a job still. I feel like it's kind of looked not down on, but like it just isn't really seen as a job yet. I feel like to many people who aren't informed about the fashion industry, they just don't realize how much work goes into it and how important it actually is. So I thought that would be good to share that with you guys as well. So basically, first off, what being a stylist is you style clothing. So you pick out pieces and stuff like that. The different kind of stylists you could be a stylist for obviously a company. So this is for the company. You do stuff like styling for, what's it called, like if they have an online website or photo shoots or editorials, stuff like that. You can also help style for like a brand consultancy, which means that you kind of help shape the brand, because obviously a brand, even in like runway shows, you know, they create pieces, like a designer creates pieces, but it needs to be styled and put together. That creates the whole look, so like it's so important to be able to do that and for a brand to be able to do that. So that's called brand consultancy, and that's kind of what you help to do in that job. Also, you can style clothes for magazines. Again, I said like photo shoots and editorials, but this can also be for a brand, but for magazines, stuff like that, as well as celebrities or people. So you can obviously be a stylist for, you know, Kim Kardashian, I don't know, random people like that, or in a store you can be a stylist, not necessarily, because there's a stylist, and then there's, in a store there's a stylist, but there's also someone who kind of pulls clothing for a customer. So a stylist, it's kind of different, not kind of, it is very different, but a stylist is, you know, putting different pieces together, whereas if you pull stuff for someone, you're just kind of pulling different pieces for that person's liking. And you can obviously also be a stylist for like music videos, TV shows. Like there's so many possibilities where job is needed. So like I said, for most of these, you know, you pull outfits and find different clothing pieces and put together looks. And depending on the brand and depending on the whole situation, that depends on how many pieces you're pulling. So yeah. So I definitely do think this is like, okay, well, obviously this is in the fashion industry, but it is a hard job and there's a lot of stuff you need to know. So you always have to be on top of all the trends. You need to know everything that is going on in the fashion industry, from all the designers to all the trends to everything like that. Who's popular right now, like you just need to know everything basically about that, because you need to be on top of the trends and creating good looks for your company or whatever it is you're doing, or even a music video where you need to know the person obviously wants to look trendy and stylish and like, you know what they're doing. So yeah. You go to like a ton of, you know, all the fashion shows and all the events, which is definitely, I think this is like a good part of the job, but also hard because you do need to, you know, get information from all this and just learn from all this. And it's it is of course fun to go to like fashion weeks, but for a stylist, like you need to go to these to actually learn stuff and like, get information from it to help you in your job. As a stylist, you need to know a ton about materials and fabrics. This also plays textures in general plays a huge job in like how you're styling in the pieces specifically that you pull. You want to have good, like, it depends on the company, of course, but like if you want to have good quality, you need to be able to recognize that, and you need to be able to recognize different kinds of materials and what things are made of, which is really important. also you need to have a really good knowledge about designers and brands, and again, back to like the trends and just all that information that you need to know. Another really like important and like beneficial thing to have as a stylist is a really big network. Being a stylist is definitely not something that just happens right away. This is a job where you really have to work your way up the ladder. So you need connections, and you need to just show brands and just the fashion industry like that you're needed, and like your skills and stuff in it. So it's a really hard like job to get into, because you really need to get recognized and get chosen. So yeah, you really have to show, like, it takes a while to get into this job, definitely, and not everyone, it's not an easy thing to get popular in and like do well in. Like, you really have to work hard. So yeah, that being said, it's really a big like beneficial to have a big network while you're trying to be a stylist, and just when you are a stylist, you just need to know people, because there's so many opportunities and just things that come through having a network and just beneficial things. So yeah. And then the last thing I want to talk about is like inspiration. So of course, as a stylist, you want to get inspiration. You want to be unique for whoever your customer is. If that's a brand or a company or a person, you want to be unique and you want them to stand out. So you need like inspiration. And this is something that also like, you know, this is a big thing as well in the job. You need to, you know, I don't know, for me, I get inspiration from a lot of different places, like not just online things like social media, but just being around the world, like traveling. There's so many things you can get inspiration from. So this is also a huge part of the job. And yeah, but I think that's actually everything I have written down. I went through that so much quicker than I expected to, but I will have some, like, again, I always put this, but like I'll have some articles and stuff that down below, like, it gives like even more in-depth information of like the different types of jobs, because like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can be a stylist. And this kind of goes in depth, like how to do this and like how can you be successful and all that stuff. I mean, I gave some information, but like this is like really in depth. So I will link those down below, but I think that's pretty much it. I really hope I gave you guys some more insight into what it is like to be a stylist, like as a job, because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand like what you do as a stylist. So this just hopefully helped you guys to understand that better. And if you have any questions, definitely like leave them in the comments and just let me know. And I do kind of have like my next videos like planned out, but of course I want to do the videos that you guys are interested in seeing as well. So if you have any videos you'd like to see in this series, or any topics you want me to talk about, or just things that about the fashion industry or whatever that you have like questions about, definitely leave them down below, and like I'll either answer them or make a video on them. So let me know, but I think that's pretty much it. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.